Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast. 118? 118.
Something like that.
Does your mother know you have a podcast?
Yep.
She ever ask about it?
Very rarely.
Disappointing.
What about your mom?
Yeah. She texts me sometimes and will quote something of the podcast and be like, look, I listen.
Wow. That's a very supportive mother you have there. You trying to rub it in, or what the hell's wrong with you?
No, I'm just curious what your situation is.
She mentions it maybe once in a while. I noticed that mug you're drinking your tea out of. I don't recognize that one.
No, it's a big one.
It's big. That's nice.
I got it at a Christmas fair 2 Christmases ago.
That's a really nice mug. I like that. I really like tea, so I like a big tea mug. And that's a big tea mug.
Today's peppermint.
Ooh. A little peppermint tea. My friend from work, Simon, he got some tea, and it's like tea biscuit flavored tea.
Biscuit flavored tea.
Yeah, those little tea cookies. It's flavored like those. It's quite good. Shared some of that with me.
Are you keeping warm? Snowpocalypse happening outside?
Yeah, I've been keeping warm. We got a little space heater that we keep running. Turn the heat on here or there. It stays pretty warm in here.
Yeah.
It's got lots of blankets.
Right. You go to work these last 2 days? 3 days?
I did make it to work. Yes. Yesterday was a lot of people were missing from work yesterday, but what about your work? Is it like once it's snowing, you just don't even bother, or what?
Oh, well, Monday, I was going to go out, but then they were like, hold on, don't. So I didn't. But they made us stay for 4 hours.
So I got all the way to the warehouse, and then they said, don't go out.
Yeah. Because they're like 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. Monday morning, nothing was on the road. And it kind of started snowing and was bad. And then getting home was a little sketchy because they shut down the highway.
Yeah.
So it took me like 2 hours to get home. And then yesterday with the same kind of idea, got to work.
Mm-hmm.
And today finally delivered 3 days worth of mail.
So that makes for a pretty shitty day, I assume?
Today I walked 38,000 steps.
That's a lot of steps.
It's more than normal. Yeah. It was a long, well, I did it all in 8 hours. So I'm really good. Did 3 days worth of mail in 8 hours. So tomorrow I expect to be done in like 2 hours.
Right, at that pace. All right.
Yeah. It's over now, though. I think snow gone.
I watched the most of a hockey game I've watched in a long time the other night. And by that, I mean like maybe 20 minutes of a game. And it was Vancouver-Detroit. And Detroit won. That one?
They did win, yeah.
In overtime?
Yeah. They're bad in overtime.
And I also found out that there are 3 players on the Canucks that all have the same last name.
Yep.
And
2 of them have the same first name.
Right. And are they related at all?
No.
Perfect. But they're Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
I see. They like Swedish people with the same name on that team.
They like Swedish players.
Yeah.
Because the guy who runs the team is Swedish.
Right. And they had some success with some Swedish players in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was exciting.
Why were you watching hockey?
I was at Mackenzie's parents' house for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And there always seems to be like... I wouldn't say it's not her mom. Her dad, maybe, I would say, always has like some sort of sports thing on the TV, but he seems to be pretty knowledgeable about the Canucks, so I imagine he's a fan to some extent.
Does he like you?
Yeah. we showed them, although this may seem like a strange concept, we showed them how to play Cards Against Humanity. Mainly, and you would think, well, that there isn't really much to show. It takes about 2 seconds of explanation, but anyway, we played a little bit of Cards Against Humanity. That was pretty fun. And yeah.
Have you ever played the Civilization games?
Like the computer games.
Yeah.
No, but I know of them.
You know of them. Okay, good. I bought Civilization 7 is coming out.
Civ 7. That's
Civ
what the
7.
That's what the Civ players say. Civ.
Yes, Civ 7. So I bought Civ 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been playing that, learning my way through it.
Yeah.
On the Switch, which was just a wild thing. But I mean, touchscreen, so it's pretty good.
I wouldn't have thought you could play that on a Switch, but
less in depth. I have a feeling the computer one, you can do a lot more stuff. But
probably
it's fun. It's fun so far.
Send your scout out.
Yeah, send your scout out.
Yep.
Your warrior.
Yep, I know it all.
Yeah. Not very good, but it's fun.
You don't gotta be good. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play this game called Command and Conquer Red Alert for the PlayStation 1 against, just play against computers. And I would play that for hours and hours and hours. And I don't think I was any good, but I felt like I was good.
Yeah, it's easier when you're not playing against any human beings.
Yeah. It's a similar style of game. Send your little scout out and find where their base is. Although it's a similar concept anyway.
It's like World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I was going to say something else, but I can't remember. Civilization, computer games. No. Maybe it'll come to me, maybe it won't. Hey, you like breakfast?
Yes, I like breakfast.
Have you ever had like a ham, pepper, and onion omelet?
No.
So you wouldn't know what that would be called.
Oh, yeah, Denver omelet.
Yeah, you're right. Good job. That's it.
Do you like Denver omelets?
I like omelets, yeah. I can't make one, but I like eating them.
I bet you I've had less than 3 omelets in my life.
Okay. Not a big egg guy, or?
I like eggs.
It's like scrambled, over easy.
Over medium.
Sunny side up. So you don't like the goo?
Well, over medium, you get like a medium amounts of goo.
When you have ramen, do you have egg in it?
Like if I'm going to a restaurant and they have that, then yes. But I would never like make packaged ramen and like I'm gonna put an egg in this because that's far too much effort.
Well, I'm not talking about like packaged. Like when do you have, say, you put some ramen in a bowl, some broth, and then maybe you put some like ground beef in it.
No, I don't really do homemade ramen.
But if you're going to a grocery store, if you're going to a restaurant,
right, well, they usually do the noodles and the broth part. Right. I don't do so much of the pudding of that. They do the pudding of that.
You have pudding in your
pudding ramen? Yep. No, when I go to Donbo Ramen in Vancouver, my favorite restaurant in the world.
They're closed when I was there.
Yeah, I get the chashu min ramen, miso. Sometimes miso broth, sometimes not. But basically, it's just like a bunch of pork, and then it has some green onion. And what are you doing?
Nothing.
Okay. And then I always get at least one egg, soft-boiled egg.
We put bok choy in ours.
I like bok choy.
Have you ever been to the Sticky Wicket?
Yes, but it's been a long time.
Do you hear this for sale?
I
and
hadn't heard that.
the Strathcona
Are you planning on
hotel.
purchasing it?
No, but I used to work with the owner's daughter at BC Ferries,
Mm-hmm.
and they won $11 million. Doesn't seem that much.
Yeah. I wonder what rent is there. It's got to be a lot.
Maybe they have a pretty good deal since they share a large amount of. Hey, speaking of rent, do you remember when we used to live together?
I do remember when we used to live together. Yes.
We used to eat a lot of like frozen pizzas, and
Mm-hmm.
one of us loved Pop-Tarts. Perhaps both of us.
Pop-Tarts,
Loved
as we like
Pop-Tarts.
to call them.
Pillsbury make Pop-Tarts. And they no, they don't.
They make pizza pops.
Right, they also make the other one, which might be the answer to this question, but they called out Pop-Tarts in TV ads for this brand of flaky crust pastries with do-it-yourself icing packets.
Oh, those are toaster strudels.
Yeah, Pillsbury makes toaster strudels,
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts.
Those are Kellogg's.
Yeah, Kellogg's is what I was. Love good Pop-Tart. Even at my age, I love a good Pop-Tart. They're always on sale. I never go to Walmart, but they're always on sale at Walmart.
They are always cheap at
Whenever
Walmart.
I go there.
Yes.
Don't buy them anywhere else.
No, at like Fairway, I think they're like almost $5, and at Walmart they're like around $2.
There used to be 2 Fairways in my close vicinity, but they closed down the one in the mall.
They did.
And now they're doing like construction in that area, so who knows what's going to open up. So many grocery stores in that
West
area.
Mo.
You know a lot about American states, right? I mean, obviously, you dealt with some American stuff this afternoon in trying to watch this movie. You love America.
Okay.
So you know much about state songs?
Oh, no. I was just going to say, if you've ever watched Friends, which I know you have, and Ross was doing that like states naming game, I feel like I could name at least 40 plus states.
Vermont.
That's one of them. Or maybe even all of them.
Okay. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's not that hard.
Oh, yeah, not that hard. No.
What do you know the 51st state? This state's song calls it Home of the Montezuma and rhymes its name with the lyrics, The grandest state I know. Home of the Montezuma.
Home of the Montezuma, and what was the second part of that?
And rhymes its name with the lyrics, The grandest state to know. Montezuma.
Oh, I'm going to say New Mexico.
New Mexico, the grandest state to know. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna we'll do one more question, and then it'll lead into the movie. This is a movie question.
Ooh.
It's actually a podcast related question as well, because it is a remake of a movie we did on the podcast.
Okay.
The Super Mario Brothers movie with this Chris in the title role had a high score at the box office of $1.3 billion in 2023.
Chris
Pratt. What Chris? Yeah, good job.
That's 4 for 4. 4 for 4. 4 for 4.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
I watched the first season. Is the second season out yet? Or it's coming, right? Yeah.
It's. I think they're done filming and they're doing other stuff.
I did.
Anyways, the next question, the answer is The Last of Us.
Okay.
But here, I'll read you the question, or the answer.
Okay.
The third episode of this HBO series, based on a game, told the post-apocalyptic love story of Bill and Frank. Okay.
Yep.
So, we're doing the straight story, right?
Yes.
Which is going to be a little interesting to talk about two heterosexual white males doing a podcast together, and on our Instagram page it's going to say the straight story. And I don't think a lot of people know about this movie, so we might get a few questions about it.
Yeah, it's probably one of his lesser known films. David Lynch, that is.
Richard Farnsworth.
Richard Farnsworth.
Did you know Richard Farnsworth was in Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, he was a pretty prolific actor back in like the 50s, 60s sort of era. Once I looked him up, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what did you think about the straight story?
I'll tell you, I really, really liked it. Quite a lot. How did you manage to watch this?
Disney Plus.
I thought you didn't have Disney Plus.
Why do you want to out me on?
I'm not trying to incriminate you, but
tons of people listen to this.
I myself tried for quite a while to find a way to watch this movie before I realized that I could do a VPN and watch this on US version of Disney Plus. I could not find anything.
Okay. Well, I have a way to watch movies, and it was on the way that I watch movies.
How was the quality of the film?
Very good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I would say part of I think what made me end up liking this movie quite a lot was at the beginning. It had a very like TV movie vibe. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like one of those hokey TV movie sort of situations. Prepared myself for that and exceeded my expectations quite a bit. I thought this movie had a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of heart. Yeah.
Very emotional at the end.
Yeah. I did find myself almost crying, actually. But it wasn't at the very last scene. It was close to the end, though. I think a big part of that, what made this movie so emotional, what helped with it anyway, was the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that soundtrack was just so good. Like the perfect, I don't know, just perfect in every situation. And I genuinely thought like this is the best soundtrack for this type of movie I've ever seen, easily. Something about it.
Normally you listen to the soundtrack, not see the soundtrack.
Did I say see?
Yep. Yeah, well, I think a big part of why I liked the movie as well was because it wasn't like there wasn't really any acting in it. Like I think that was just Richard Farnsworth. Just the dude couldn't walk. That was him. He had some sort of, I think, bone cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wasn't faking any of that. I think just a guy on a tractor. And he just playing himself. And I think Elvin Strait was just a similar dude to Richard Farnsworth, and that's why it worked so well. Like there was no acting. I mean, Sissy Spacek acted her little heart off, but other than that, like just a dude on a tractor.
Yeah.
And he was great at emoting. He had a great face.
Yep.
It was a guy you could cheer for. You wanted to see him. Obviously, we knew in the ending of the film right away. Like he's obviously in the tagline for this film on IMDb's like the last sentence is, "Will he succeed?" Like obviously he's gonna get to his brother, who's named Lyle in this, but in real life not named Lyle. For some reason they changed that.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton looks very familiar. I'm not sure what he's in, but the name, he's a familiar name.
He's in quite a lot of things.
He was in it for 2 seconds.
Basically.
And they shared a great moment at the end, and that was very emotional. And yeah, I mean, we do this every time, but it was a 2-hour movie. of a guy riding a tractor
Mm-hmm.
in the farmlands. But we
Mm-hmm.
did get some moments in between him talking to the the hitchhiker pregnant woman and him talking to the old veteran, and so I mean that was nice to kind of tighten things up and really make it even more the cyclists,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what's it like getting old. So yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and the movie. Honestly, the movie didn't feel that long to me. I thought it was a pretty good runtime.
Yeah, well, it's just because I mean, it's a like he's talking a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah,
talking in the movie.
yeah.
Some people like that. Some people are like a little more action, but
Mm-hmm.
it's fine.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was nice, and I don't know, just every scene was memorable. Like feel like sometimes I watch a movie and I forget some scenes. Like I feel like I could name every scene that happens. It all sort of has a purpose.
Every state and every scene.
Every state and every scene. Yeah, and a bit on the ending too. Since it is a David Lynch movie, um, he tends to do really weird stuff, and there was some
Uh-huh.
David Lynch moments in this movie that like you could tell it was him, in my opinion. But I actually didn't know that he for sure was going to meet up with Lyle and he was going to be all right. I thought maybe he wasn't going to be all right. I didn't know. But it was like, even if it was the nice ending, which it was, I was all right with it. It's like I didn't think
Yeah.
it needed to have like a weird twist ending or anything like that. It was just kind of like the whole movie was a feel good story, and that's how it ended. I mean, obviously there was some sad moments,
Mm-hmm.
but I think perhaps those sad moments were about like overcoming them and being happy despite that.
Yeah, his dang tractor always breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it would have been a worse movie if he didn't make it to his brother and he wasn't fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was totally good with it. Um, they promised us that at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and they delivered. I mean, yeah, a David Lynch movie. He directed it, but I mean, he didn't write it or
No.
produce it, or it was his then wife
Yeah.
who wrote it. Um, so a David Lynch movie, but not really a David Lynch movie.
Yeah. I wonder how much collaboration he had with the people who are doing like the sound design and the music. Probably quite a bit. I think he likes to be pretty um, involved with that sort of thing. Especially like the soundtrack. I feel like if a lot of the David Lynch movies I've seen, especially like Eraserhead and stuff, he likes to put a lot of like droning sound, which I thought this movie did have some of. Like when he was talking about the grain elevator in the silo,
Mm-hmm.
it was just kind of like that dull sort of mechanical noise, which was like a really pleasing noise. I liked it a lot. And then like when the cyclists were going by and just the sound of like the lawnmower and all that. I know he kind of likes those droning sounds, but it wasn't like grating. It was kind of like pleasing. I don't know.
Hmm. The opposite of grading.
Yeah. It wasn't like Tetsuo the Iron Man, where like the whole point was
Mm.
to be really grating and horrible.
Did David Lynch do that one?
No, he didn't do that, but just sort of like as a opposite.
David Lynch is dead.
Yes.
Um, emphysema.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Farnsworth had bone cancer, and then he was kind of fed up with living, so he killed himself.
Yeah, not too much longer after this
Right.
film was over.
He's like, I'll do the Academy Awards, I'll go to the Oscars, and then that's it. It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, only like I think 6 months later or something like that.
Yeah, um, this film did all right. I'm surprised. So it's a Disney movie, but it's only on the American Disney Plus.
Yeah. I thought that was odd.
I get it. It's a classic American film.
Very American. Yeah. I liked how there was a lot of the characters are like caricatures, like overblown representations of people, especially like the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they were very real. Like I could see those being real people.
Yeah.
Which I liked. And I liked also part of the sound design that I liked too was that how some scenes you could tell they were mic'd up real close. You could hear them real clear. And then sometimes when they were sort of like a bit farther from the camera, they wouldn't have them mic'd up close so you could hear them really clearly. It was like we were that far away and you could kind of like barely hear them talking, which I thought was an interesting choice.
David Lynch, when he was alive, he called this his most experimental movie.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That is odd. Maybe experimental for him, I suppose. I mean, it's most unlike his others.
Yeah, his most experimental movie.
Yeah. It's kind of like this one and Elephant Man are like considered his normal movies.
Speaking of Elephant Man, Richard Farnsworth, he was the oldest nominee for Best Actor until Anthony Hopkins. Won it in 2023 when he was home in bed.
Yeah.
Or 2021, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was also filmed in sequence, which is pretty rare for a film.
Oh, was it really? That's cool. It does seem it's definitely a movie that you could. Seems pretty easy to get away with doing that.
And this film would be perfect for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know that.
This couldn't have been like that expensive to make.
No, probably most of the budget went to just some of the actors. Some of them very, very famous.
$10 million budget, 6.2 million box office.
Mm-hmm.
Was Sissy Spacek really that famous?
Maybe not. Maybe not at that time. I actually don't. I don't know. Harry Dean Stanton had done quite a bit before this movie, and obviously, the main fellow there as well, Mr. Farnsworth.
Dick Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had done a lot of films by this time. The film she did before The Straight Story was A Blast from the Past, a 1999 American romantic comedy science fantasy adventure film starring Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone.
It's a lot of genres.
The film focuses on a man who was born and brought up in a Cold War era fallout shelter built by his survivalist anti-communist father and emerges into the modern world 35 years later. Can't imagine it did
on the
too well.
podcast.
No, I'm not. I'm doing another film.
Right.
Hey, you like blue things, right? You're wearing a blue shirt.
I am wearing a blue shirt.
Strong reactions to the title animal's human-like teeth in a 2019 trailer pushed this film's premiere to 2020 for dental surgery.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. I was watching a couple interviews as well. Very brief snippets of David Lynch talking about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not Sonic. The Straight Story.
And The Straight Story.
I think he actually, and quite a bit of clips of him even before watching this movie, just because he had passed recently. And I think one of his big things he always was trying to accomplish was just like really beautiful things. I don't know, like beautiful shots or just seeing the beauty in regular things or whatever, which I think this movie was pretty successful at as well. And not as grandiose as some of his other films. It's like a pretty subdued but successful way of doing it, I guess.
Yeah, it was a simple movie. It's just a man who loves his brother,
Yeah.
getting on a lawn mower,
Yeah.
going. I don't know how how long it was.
I think it was 360 miles.
At 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, it took him like 6 weeks, apparently.
Oh, based on a true story.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading this true story. It's quite similar to what the movie is. It seems to be like they've changed sort of some of the events, the order of some of the events, but most of it seems to be like what actually happened. So,
They got to make it to a movie like the Titanic. That
right.
was based on a true story, but I don't think Jack and what was her name?
Um,
Jack and Kate Winslet. I don't think there's a door involved.
yeah, probably not. They wouldn't have been able to know that.
Jack and Rose.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's it.
Got him. Uh huh. Okay. Yeah, deer. Poor deer got hit pretty good, and then he just stashed it in his trailer and on his way.
Yeah, that was probably the most David Lynch moment. Was that woman sort of having a hysterical attack, like fit rather, but all these deer she's been hitting.
Mm-hmm.
10 deers over the last 7 weeks or whatever it was.
I love deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else? Thinking about. Take a look.
I don't think so. I think I talked about everything I want to talk about.
It was a G rating.
Yes.
Could be our first G rating unless the Muppet movie was also G.
I have to assume it was.
Chris Farley's two brothers were in the film.
Hmm.
He was supposed to be, but he died.
Um, that's why they looked familiar. Yeah. I was like, they look like somebody, but yeah, they do look like somebody. Look like Chris Farley. That makes sense.
This is the first David Lynch film to receive a positive review from Roger Ebert. 4 out of 4 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The Straight Story.
Straight story.
Pretty good. You're probably going to give it like 9.5. It's going to be the movie of the year for you.
We'll have to see. Only time will tell.
How do you like the acting?
I thought the acting was very good. Very, very good. Wasn't over the top. Wasn't. Yeah, it was well executed. I think.
Be confident.
Yeah, it definitely had some vibes that like some of the actors weren't really actors. I mean, it was like a mix of like really established actors and people who I probably had never acted before, which thought was a really interesting mix, and it worked well. I have to give an acting like maybe like a 9.
Maybe like a 9?
Yeah, let's go with a 9.
Well, yeah, I mean, the best part of the film for me was Richard Farnsworth, obviously an actor, but he looked like he's just a guy they found on the street.
Yeah.
Like, grow your beard out and get on this lawnmower and head out. But he obviously is an actor and has been acting for 60 years. But yeah, he just played himself, or at least he made it seem like he played himself, and he was genuine, and the moments that he had seemed genuine with everybody else, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it a 9, but I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
Sissy Spacek, I don't know. I mean, I guess his daughter had some sort of stutter, and she had a stutter.
Yeah,
I'd smoked a lot. So
yeah. That part of it was perhaps a little. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that part of the film, but yeah.
okay. Ending. I liked the ending, even though we knew it was coming, which was good. I liked their moment, and they. I mean, it was emotional. I didn't cry, but it was emotional when they were sitting down, and then Lyle, Harry Dean Stanton, he sees the lawnmower. Is like, you rode that thing to see me? Tears in his eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
Alvin just said yes, and then they just kind of sat there, quiet. Movie over. Great. As perfect of an ending as you can get. 9 out of 10.
A 9
Yeah, whatever.
for ending. Wow. Now that's what I'm giving the ending as well. I
All
really
right.
liked the ending. It was subtle,
Cool.
but made you feel
What?
good.
So you said the last scene wasn't what got you emotional. What got you emotional?
I don't know. It was just like it was when he was crossing the Mississippi on the bridge. There wasn't anything particularly emotional happening. Like it wasn't when he was talking with the other veteran, or which was a pretty emotional scene, obviously, or the ending. I don't know. It's just something about him. Like he was almost there, and I had a little bit of like uncertainty about how it was going to end. Like you said, you kind of knew where it was going. I mean, I probably could have assumed it was going to be a good story. It was a Disney movie, but for some reason, I was worried maybe his brother would have passed on or something like that. And just again with that soundtrack, like that soundtrack, just I don't know, it really got to me. So it made me like a little emotional. But yeah, that was one.
What do you think about the movie overall?
Yes, you were pretty spot on with what you thought I was going to give it. I almost, for a while, thought I was going to give it a 10, but I'm not going to give it a 10.
The first perfect movie?
Yeah, it's
Ridiculous.
damn close to a perfect movie in my mind.
Sure.
I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. I really, really liked that movie. I'm one of, like, so much so that I want to go and get, like, a physical copy so I can just watch it freely whenever I want.
You see there's a soundtrack available somewhere.
I saw that. I saw, like, the CD. They made a CD of the soundtrack.
Put in your car.
I don't think it's on vinyl. If it was, that would be. I'm gonna check right now.
Okay. I'm not gonna give it 9.5. I'm kind of the. Well, I guess are my scores higher than yours normally? I don't know, but I'm gonna give it an 8.5 because yeah, it was a lovely movie.
Yeah, 8.5 is really high for you. I think that you've maybe given one movie higher than that ever.
Ever? I don't know.
Pretty sure.
No.
You're pretty stingy with your.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah,
I think was higher.
That's what I was about to say. I said I think you gave Peanut Butter Falcon a 9.
Do the Right Thing was 8.75.
Okay.
Dude, Where's My Car was 8.75. So, just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, 8.5. I mean, it was a lovely choice of a film. I think it's what we needed, with everything going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we needed. I've never heard of this film before, which is, I think, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But
maybe part of what made me like a bit extra emotional about it was that David Lynch had recently passed.
right.
But I don't know. So maybe that influenced my score a little bit. Who knows?
And knowing a guy you just learned about died 24 and a half years ago.
That too. Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Okay, so I assume our next film is going to be nothing like this film.
It's not a Disney film.
Okay.
So you did a David Lynch film.
Yeah.
I'm doing, well, you did a lesser known David Lynch film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lesser known Coen Brothers film.
Okay. I like the Coen Brothers.
Yeah, so going shot for shot here with directors. We're doing A Serious Man. So we just did The Straight Story,
Yeah.
and now we're watching A Serious Man.
A Serious Man.
It's been on my list for a while. And so this would be a perfect time to watch it because well, we just watched. It's a drama as well, I believe,
Okay.
with a little bit of humor, but not overly.
Oh, it's got that guy in it. Okay.
Yeah, it's got that guy in it. It's on. Actually, no, it's not on Prime. It's on like AMC Plus. So,
Okay. Cool. I haven't even heard of this movie.
well, there you go. That's why you. That's why you do it. Well, it's called a. It is a black comedy drama film, but
Mm-hmm. That tends to be the Coen brother theme. I should point out earlier, I said I figured out that I could watch this movie on a VPN on the US Disney. That was not me who figured that out. Mackenzie figured that out.
oh,
Just to clear the air there, make sure the truth
right.
is known.
Yeah. I mean, I could, if you want, I can send you where I watch stuff, and then save you the trouble. But now you have Disney, American Disney stuff.
Yep, that is in my repertoire now, as they say, the French, oui, oui, bonjour, and all that. Okay, well, I'm glad you liked this movie. I was a little worried I was going to really like it, and you were going to be like, yeah, I mean, it was all right.
I think it's pretty rare that one of us has like a really positive and one of us doesn't react at least half positive to it.
That's true. I think there was a pretty big discretion between us for like Tetsuo the Iron Man. I think I gave it I gave it a 9.5. I think you gave it like a 7, maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's just 2.5. But 7 is still a good score.
7 is still a good score, especially for you.
But yeah, 2.5 of a difference is probably the highest we would do.
I think this is my third 9.5 movie. This, Tetsuo the Iron Man, and Lars and the Real Girl.
You gave Afterlife 9 as well,
Mm-hmm.
but not 9.5, obviously.
What did I give Old Boy? 9?
Going way back, yeah, you give it a 9.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle, you give it a 9 as well.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
Ow. I'm so sore.
Well, no doubt, you did 3 days of work in one.
Well, the last month, I've had it pretty easy. Like the route I was on was like a bit mostly businesses, so it wasn't a lot of heavy lifting. And
Mm-hmm.
then finally, I'm on like a route where I'm in neighborhoods, and it's so hard. Anyways,
How does that work? Like, if you, for today, when you had 3 days worth of delivering, like, was it enough to carry all in one go, or do you have to, like, do a bunch and then go back and refill or whatever?
thank you for asking. So Monday, I sorted the route, didn't go out. So then Tuesday, I resorted the route and put the new stuff in. Wednesday, resort the route, put the new stuff in. And then you just kind of break it into sections. And then there's a lot of like me going to my car, grabbing stuff. If I try to do it so that there's like circles, loops, so that I'm not backtracking. But you do have to backtrack for like parcels, since I had a lot of parcels today. But
So, like, organizing your day is up to like, you can do it how you want to do it.
mhm.
I see.
Yeah, just however, as long as the mail gets done. People bring back mail too. If you're ever like, oh, why didn't get mail today? It's because the guy probably brought back the mail because he didn't want to do it. Or lazy bunch. Not me. I'm not lazy.
What? I had another question. but I think I've forgotten. Oh, so you're always like delivering in the same area, like typically, unless you have to cover someone or something.
Well, I'm relief, so
Oh,
normally I'm just covering somebody who's off. But for the last month, I was on a long-term route, so somebody who's off sick or her or whatever.
mm-hmm.
So I covered that route for a whole month, and now I jumped onto this route. I'm on until May.
Oh wow. And so you'd be like, all the places to park, sort of thing. You get used to that, or you just kind of like
I mean, I
wing
will,
it.
yeah. Today was the first day I actually went out. Um, and it was snow, like there's a bunch of snow everywhere. But yes, eventually I'll like know where to park and be really quick. You
Okay.
get to like after like the third or fourth day, you have it pretty dialed in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of dialed in, our last question. Alliteration on the map is the category.
Okay.
$400 should be easy.
I just want to say I'm 5 for 5 right now.
Yeah, you're really smart.
Thank you.
This is another American question. I think this is an American game. American calendar. Thanks, Mom. When this span over New York City's East River opened in 1883, it cost 1 penny to cross on foot and 5 cents for a horse and rider. This span over New York City's East River, cheap to cross.
Okay. Well, since it's alliteration, my best guess is going to be the Brooklyn Bridge.
There you got it. Good job.
Thank you.
So smart. No spilling today. Still good.
It's very good. I noticed you didn't open your drawer, which is probably the key to that success.
Well, next time I open my drawer, I just have to hold my monitor. Learning.
Yeah. We learn something new every single day.
Wow, big yawn.
Well, we're getting right to that classic 50-minute mark. A little short of it today, actually.
No John Goodman. I don't know if that ruins it for you, but
No, I think I'll be all right.
okay. It is less than 2 hours.
That's good.
Directed, written, and produced by Joel and Ethan Coen. Proper Coen Brothers film.
They make good stuff.
I'm gonna look up a list, top list of Coen Brothers movies.
Okay.
And see where it lands. Top
Okay.
10 Coen Brothers movies. It's a men's health list. Menshealth.com.
Know a lot about Coen Brothers films.
This was published February 23rd, 2024, so just a year ago.
Okay.
It's a top 20 list, and number 20 is a podcast movie, The Lady Killers.
Ah, yes.
And that was not good. So
it's okay, but no, not great.
Number 15 on the list, another podcast movie. Apparently, you've done a lot of Coen Brothers movies. The Man Who Wasn't There.
That movie I remember not liking that much.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Have you seen Miller's Crossing?
Yes.
It was number 12.
Mm-hmm.
Barton Fink, number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Raising Arizona, number 9. I've heard good things. True Grit, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Serious Man, 7. So Serious Man, better than True Grit, but not as good as Burn After Reading.
Burn After Reading is good. I've seen a lot of Coen Brothers movies, apparently. I've seen all of those except the one we're going to watch.
I liked Burn After Reading, but the only thing I remember from it is Brad Pitt getting a gunshot in the head in a closet. Number 1 is Fargo.
Yeah, seen Fargo.
So
classic.
What's 2? Big Lebowski.
What's 3?
Inside Llewyn Davis.
I haven't seen that one. So that's another one I haven't seen.
Justin Timberlake. And then 4 is No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
And then rounding out number 5 is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
That's a really good one.
Great. Great. Well, that's enough, I think.
Yeah.
That's enough for us. The Straight Story, not A Straight Story, The Straight Story. Good pick. I'm sure we'll be talking about that film over the course of the year as we look back at good ones we watched.
Yes.
Hopefully the same for A Serious Man.
Yeah.
Probably not, though.
You never know.
Episode 118, I think. Should double check. Right? 118? 118, yeah. Next time is 119. And then 120? Okay, you're done. We're done.